Good afternoon, students. Welcome back to Signals and System online video lecture series. We have been discussing the first unit, that is definitions and classifications of signals and system, in which from the last class onwards we have been talking about the classifications of signals. There are 6 classifications of signals. In the last class, I have given the list of those classifications of signals, in which the first classification of signals, that is continuous time signals and the discrete time signals. In the last class, I have given the definition and the examples and the comparison between the continuous time signal and the discrete time signal. Continuous time signal is a one in which the amplitude and the time both are continuous in its nature. That means at every instant of time there will be a signal in case of continuous time signal. The best example for the continuous time signal is ECG signal. Coming to the next type of signal, that is called discrete time signal. Discrete time signal is a signal in which signal can be defined at some discrete instant of time only. At some certain instant of time we can have the signal, and that signal is named as discrete time signal. The best example for the discrete time signal, the blood pressure reading of a patient for every half an hour. If we plot that is into the graph, then the resultant will be the best example for the discrete time signal. Anyway, all these we have discussed in the last class. In this class, I am going to explain how the discrete time signals can be represented, how the discrete time can be represented. So, if we are talking about the discrete time signal and the continuous time signal, so that there is a possibility to have the continuous time system and the discrete time system. Here the point is very clear. We are talking about the signals. We are talking about the signal, that signals are nothing but continuous time signals and the discrete time signals. If this is having the continuous time signal, so that we can have the continuous time system also. And we are talking about the discrete time signals, means we can have the discrete time systems also. But discrete time systems are more oftenly preferred than the continuous time systems, because most continuous systems can be analyzed or processed or looked upon more comfortably with the discretization. So that means if it is continuous time system also, its behavior can effectively described by making use of the continuous time system, continuous time signals only. Because revolution in IC technology, things are possible now to look at the discrete time signals. So if you are having the continuous time system also, we can apply the discrete time signals, because by making use of the discrete time signals, that system can be easily analyzed or processed or looked upon comfortably with the discretization. Discretization is nothing but by making use of the discrete time signal. That is the beauty of the discrete time signals. Here I am going to explain the representation of the discrete time signal. There are 4 types of representation in the discrete time signals, and all these 4 types I am going to explain now, in which the first one is named as graphical representation. There are 4 types of representations are there. First one is nothing but it is a graphical representation. Everyone is familiar with the graphical representation. In this class particularly I am talking about the representation of a discrete time signal. The discrete time signals are more oftenly used than the continuous time signal, because this can be analyzed. These signals can be used to analyze the continuous time system and the discrete time system more comfortably because it is allows us the discretization. For any instant of time, we can test that particular signal system behavior, so that these continuous time systems also more effectively analyzed or processed by making use of the discrete time signals. So these discrete time signals, there are 4 ways to represent these discrete time signals, in which the first one is named as graphical representation. I am going with the first one, that is graphical representation. Graphical representation, it is very similar to the our signal only. Here consider a signal, consider a one particular mathematical representation, that is, here I am having x of minus 2 is equals to minus 3, x of minus 1 is equals to, I am taking the example 2, x of 0 is equals to 0, and x of 1 is equals to 3. I am going. This is the signal I am having, and this signal can be represented in graphical manner, and that is one particular type of representation. So that take the complete plot, and this is we know that every time x-axis used to represent the some instant of time, that is independent variable n, and the y-axis is used to represent the signal amplitude. It is a discrete time signal. We know that the discrete time signals can be represented by making use of x of n. These discrete time signals can be denoted with x of n, so that x of minus 2, so that you can go with this is 0, we know that this is 1 and this is 2. Here this is minus 1, minus 2 and minus 3, so that we can write this is origin 0, it is 1, it is 2, it is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Then you can plot the signal now. At minus 3, what is the signal we have? At the minus 3, we have the signal. At the minus 2, we have the signal is minus 3, so that it is minus 3 now. And at minus 1, we have the signal is plus 2, this is 2 now. At x of 0, that is at t is equals to 0, value is 0. At x of 1, whose value is 3 now. This is the graphical representation of any signal, and we have been discussing the representation of the discrete time signal, in which the first one is called graphical representation. This is the example for the graphical representation. That means what? Some instant of time or some certain instant of time, we have the signal, and by plotting that instant of time on the x-axis and y-axis, we can plot the corresponding signal amplitude. Here minus 3 is the amplitude, my plus 2 is amplitude, 0 is also amplitude, and 3 is also amplitude. Whereas here x of minus 2 is enclosed, minus 2 is enclosed with the parenthesis, and if it is discrete time, you have to make use this square brackets is like this, so that it is a discrete time signal. It is a discrete time signal. And now this minus 2, minus 1, 0 and 1 are enclosed with the square bracket, so that we can come to have a conclusion that these signals are the discrete time signals. Discrete time signals can be represented in 4 ways, in which the first one is graphical representation, and the second one is the functional representation. You can go with the second one is functional representation. Here we have the functional representation example. Here I am going with the one particular example. Here we are having example, that is example here x of n is equals to, I am going with the functional representation, x of n is equals to 2 power of n for n greater than or is equals to 0. That means what? Whenever n is positive, from 0 to positive, that xn value is 2 power of n, otherwise it will be 0. That is, you can call it is n less than 0. So this is a functional representation, and like this by having the discrete time signal in the functional representation, again you can represent the signal also. By seeing this one, you can plot the signal also. We know that the signal representation graphically, and this is n, and this one is a x of n. We know that n is a independent variable. Independent variable must be taken on x-axis, and whereas y-axis is used for the amplitude of the signal. So that for n greater than or is equals to, signal value is 2 power of n. First substitute n is equals to 0. Here I am going with the n is equals to 0, and n is a integer, so that this is 0. I can call this is 1, and this is 2, and this is 3, and so on. So at n is equals to, then I am going with the one particular example here. If n is equals to 0, then whose value is 2 power of 0. 2 power of 0 is equals to 1 only, so that here you can have the signal is 1. For 2 power of 1, n is equals to, now I am going with the 1, so that 2 power of 1 will be the 2 it is. N is equals to 2, I am taking 2 power of 2 means what? 2 power of 2 means it is 4, so that I can go with the 4. Likewise, this is 2 power of 3 means it is 8. And coming to the negative side, when n less than 0, whose value is 0 only, so that whatever may be the value of n in the negative manner, that amplitude will be 0 only. This particular representation of signal is named as a functional representation. And the third one, I am going with the another representation, that is called tabular representation. Tabular representation. In tabular representation, we are going to have one table. That table is going to represent the signal. That means what? Here I am going to represent, I am going to have one table. This is a table which is going to have the signals. Signal is nothing but it is having the independent variable and followed by the amplitude of a signal. So that here -2, -1 I can go, 0 I can go, 1 and 2. This is the example for the tabular representation, and this is having the, at the n is equals to -2 amplitude, I am assuming this is 0, and n is equals to -1 amplitude is 1, I am assuming. N is equals to 0 amplitude is 2, n is equals to 1 amplitude is 3, n is equals to 2 amplitude is 4, so that we can plot the signal according to the given table. See this one, it is a tabular representation for a discrete time signal. At a discrete time signal is denoted with the x of n, where is n is the integer, and n can be plotted on the x-axis, and x of n can be plotted on the y-axis. It is having the instant of times are -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, so that I am taking this is -2, this is -1, 0, 1 and 2. Now I can plot the signal at -2. At -2 the signal amplitude is 0, at -1 the signal amplitude is 1, at the 0 amplitude is 2, at 1 amplitude is 3, I can call it is, at 2 amplitude is 4. This is a linearly increasing signal. So this is a graphical representation of the signal. And the last one is about the that is called, it is a sequence representation. Fourth one, that is the sequence representation. All these representations are used to represent only discrete time signals. You must remember this one. We have been discussing the classifications of signal, in which we are having the 6 classification, in which we are studying the first one. The first one is a continuous time signal and the discrete time signal. Discrete time signals are very frequently used than the continuous time signals, so that these discrete time signals can be represented in 4 ways, in which the first one is a graphical representation, second one is a functional representation, third one is a tabular representation, and the fourth one is a sequence representation. I am going with the sequence representation. That means what? Here the signal will be represented. Here the signal will be represented in the form of a sequence. So that which type of signal it is? It is a discrete time signal. It is denoted with the x of n is equals to, it is -3, 2, 0, 3, 1. For example, it is a discrete time signal which is represented in a sequence method, so that this x of n is equals to minus 3, 2, 0, 3, 1. X of n is equals to, they are saying, so that this is minus 2, 0, minus 2, 2, sorry, minus 3, 2, 0, 3, 1 are the amplitudes. That means what? They have to represent it on the y-axis, but here it is given as one arrow mark at one particular amplitude of the signal, that is 0, so that we can call it is the amplitude at the origin, and this is belongs to the negative side of the independent variable, and this is positive values of the independent variable. And so that here arrowhead is indicating what? This arrow indicates at n is equals to 0 whose amplitude is 0, at n is equals to minus 1 amplitude is 2, at n is equals to minus 2 whose amplitude is minus 3. Coming to the right hand side, when n is equals to positive 1 whose amplitude is 3, when n is equals to positive 2 that amplitude is 1, and so that we can easily plot this signal by making use of the graphical representation. Then I am taking the x-axis and y-axis. X-axis always used to represent the independent variable, then y-axis is used to represent the amplitude of the signal, that is x of n. X of n values are what? Minus 3, 2, 0, 3, 1, but the arrow is mentioned at the 0, so that this is at n is equals to 0. If this is n is equals to 0, this one is about n is equals to minus 1 it is, and this is at n is equals to minus 2, so that it is minus 1 and it is minus 2. Coming to here, this is n is equals to plus 1 and n is equals to plus 2, so that we can simply plot this one. At n is equals to 0, amplitude is 0, so that it remains same, and n is equals to minus 1, amplitude is 2, and at n is equals to minus 2 whose amplitude is minus 3, this is minus 3. At n is equals to 1 whose amplitude is plus 3, this is 3, and at n is equals to 2 whose amplitude is also 1. Like that, this is nothing but it is the sequence representation of the discrete time signals. So here the conclusion is that discrete time signals can be represented in 4 ways. One is in a graphical representation. Second one is about the functional representation, and the third one is about the tabular representation. Fourth one is about the sequence representation. So in the classification of signals, the continuous time signal and the discrete time signal is completed. And the second topic in the syllabus, that is about elementary continuous time signal. Actually, this elementary continuous time signals also comes under the classification of continuous time signals and the discrete time signals. Just now we have studied the representation of the discrete time signal in 4 ways. Now we are going to study the what are the elementary signals are there in continuous time signals. Signal models are nothing but various elementary signal functions. There are several elementary signals which plays the very important role in the study of signals and system, and in this section we are going to study those elementary continuous signal. These elementary signals serves a building blocks of the construction of more complex signals. In fact, these elementary signals may be used to model a large number of physical signals which occurs in the nature. These elementary signals are also called as a standard signal. If you go with the elementary signals, and these are the very basic building blocks for any complex signals, and so that these elementary signals sometimes called as standard signals. And in the syllabus we are having the 6 standard signals, are the basic signals, are the elementary signals, in which I am going to talk about the 3 particular things in this video, in which the first one I am going with the classification of elementary signals. There are 6 signals are there in the continuous time signals. Because why we can call them as elementary signals? Because these are the building blocks of any complex signal. By making use of these basic signals or the standard signals, we can realize any other complex signal which can be used as an input for the digital systems or the continuous systems. So that we are having the 6 type of standard signals or elementary signals, in which first one is named as a unit step signal. Unit step signal, and it is denoted with unit step signal, it is denoted with U of t. If it is continuous, it is denoted with U of t, and if it is discrete, we have to represent that is U of n. But we are not going to see this one here, we are going to study that is later on, so that we have to concentrate on unit step continuous time signal that can be represented is with the U of t. Next one is ramp signal, and that is denoted with that R of t. Next one we are going to study the impulse signal, and it is a continuous impulse signal. Impulse signal can be denoted with del of t, and t represents what? It is a continuous time signal. U of t means it is a unit step continuous time signal. R of t is it is a ramp continuous time signal, and next one is a del of t is nothing but it is a impulse continuous time signals. And these signals can be existed for the discrete time also. If it is discrete time signals, you can call it is R of n. At discrete instant of time only we can have the signal. And coming to here, this is del of n. But we have to discuss only the continuous time signals in this elementary continuous time signals. And the fourth one is about exponential signal. In exponential signals, again we can have the 2 more classes, and that will be discussed in the exponential signals. And it is a continuous time signal, we have the exponential signals, and in case of discrete time also we can have the exponential signal. And the last one is about sinusoidal signal, and these we are very familiar because we have studied the sinusoidal signals in the mathematics. So that there are 5 types of elementary signals. First one is a unit step signal, and next one is a ramp signal, and the next one is a impulse signal, next one is a exponential signal, and again in exponential signal we are having the 2 more, that is a real exponential signal and the complex exponential signal, and the last one is a sinusoidal signal. So then in this class I am going to explain about the unit step signal. Only one signal I am going to talk about, the particular signal, that is called unit step signal. It is denoted with U of t. First one I am going with unit step signal. It is denoted with U of t. U of t means here it is a continuous time signal. It is, what is the need of this one? Introduction, I will explain. The step function is an important signal used for analysis of many systems. For example, if you go with the ignition key of a bike, if you, for example, when we turn the ignition key of a car or a bike, we actually introducing a step voltage to the starting of that motor. And that means what? If you are having a vehicle, and by on the ignition key, and directly it switched to the off state to the on state instantaneously, and this type of signal is named as unit step signal. I hope I am clear. Unit step is nothing but instantaneously it switches from off state to on state, and this type of signal is named as unit step signal. The best example for the unit step signal, when we turn the ignition key of a bike or a car, we actually introducing a step voltage to the starting of motor. Likewise, applying a brake as a constant force, it is also the it is also the unit step signal. And a unit step signal is useful to test a signal because the response of the system for any unit step is revealed a great deal about how quickly the system responds to a sudden change in the input. Just simply take the example of the ignition key. If you go with the unit step signal, the best example for the unit step signal is ignition key of a bike. Ignition key directly it switch from the off state to on state, until the car is moving. That key is in on state only, so that this type of signal is named as a unit step signal. Unit step signal is very useful to test a system how quickly it is responding from off state to on state. If you go with this particular signal here, it is instantaneously going from the off state to on state, so that the transition time is zero. If this is taking some delay time to reach the on state, and this will be having some delay, so that in case of unit step signal there is no delay, so that by making use of this signal we can test any system how fastly or how quickly a system is responding from off state to on state. If the unit step function has one magnitude, then that is called as a unit step function. The unit step signal has the amplitude on the 1, and that is called as unit step signal. Then I am defining this particular unit step signal here. Unit step signal is nothing but it can have only two amplitudes. One is 0, another one is 1. Here unit means 1. It is a step means what? Directly it is switching from off state to on state, and this type of signal can be used widely to test any system how quickly, how fastly it is responding from off state to on state. So that mathematically I am going to define this unit step signal, and here unit step signal is denoted with u of t. Mathematical representation I am going with u of t is a continuous time signal, and u of t whose value is 1, because we are going with the unit step signal. Unit means 1 for t is greater than or is equals to 0. For t greater than or is equals to 0, whose amplitude is 1. For a t less than or 0, whose value is 0. This signal is named as unit step signal. So that I can plot this signal by making use of the graphical representation. So I am taking the graph with the x-axis and y-axis. This is x-axis, this is x-axis. This is used to represent the independent variable time, and this is minus t, and this is the amplitude of the signal, that is x of t. Here x of t is nothing but u of t. It is a unit impulse signal, and so that we can go with the from t is greater than or is equals to 0. T is 0 from here, and this part is nothing but t is greater than or is equals to 0. From here to here, this is nothing but it is a t is less than 0. If you go with the t is greater than 0, what is the value of that signal? That value of that signal is about 1, and in the remaining, when the t is less than 0, whose amplitude is 0, so that call it is 1. And for any t is greater than 1, t is greater than 0, t is greater than or is equals to 0, whose amplitude is 1. This is the amplitude. For t value, whatever may be the thing, if it is greater than 0, whose amplitude is 1. If the t value is less than 0, whose amplitude is 0. And this is the signal of the unit step signal. This is the unit step signal. Unit means 1 here, amplitude is 1. For t greater than or is equals to 0, this part is t greater than 0. And 0 for t less than 0, this is t less than 0 part, and whose amplitude is 0. This is completely continuous in nature. See this one, amplitude is continuous in nature and the time is also continuous in nature, and this type of signal is named as a unit step signal. These unit step signals are widely used to test a system, how quickly the system is responding from off state to on state. This is state is named as off state, you can call it as a off state, and this is called the on state, and how the system is for how quickly the system is responding from off state to on state. Here in this unit step signal, the transition time, switching time from the off state to on state is 0. Instantaneously it is going from off state to on state, so that there is no delay. And this type of signals are very useful to test any system, to know how quickly the system is responding to switch from off state to on state. The best example for the unit step signal is the ignition key of a bike. Ignition key of a bike or a car, directly that moves the off state to on state. That means what? We are applying the constant voltage to start the motor of a car or to start the motor of a bike. And second one is applying a brake also, applying a brake also. That means what? If a car is moving, it is having the some velocity. If we apply constant force very quickly, if it directly goes to the 0, then that if the speed of the car is going to 0, if it is 0, then that in that case, that applying the brake is also called as a unit step signal. Likewise, unit step signal is very important for the examination point of view. And here we are having the 5 basic signals or elementary signals. From these 5, any one signal can be asked for. Any one signal can be asked for the 2 or 3 marks in the short answer. From these 5, any one can be asked for 2 or 3 marks in the short answer. That might be either this unit step or the impulse signal one. These 2 signals are very important in the short answer questions. Just now we discussed the unit step signal. This is the unit step signal, and if you are good at the continuous time unit step signal, you can plot the discrete time unit step signal. The mathematical definition for the unit step signal is like this. If I go with the mathematical definition, this is u of n. I can write u of n. That means what? It is a discrete time signal whose value is 1 for n greater than or is equals to 0. N is an integer, we know that, discrete in nature. Whereas 0 for n less than 0. This is the mathematical representation of the unit step discrete time signal, and we can plot this one like this. This is what it is, n, and this one will be x of n or is equals to u of n now. So that for n is equals to 0 onwards, so that this is n is equals to 0, n is equals to 1, n is equals to 2, n is equals to 3, n is equals to 4, and these were what? N is equals to -1, -2, -3 and -4. We know that in a discrete time signal, the signal will be defined at the discrete time instants only, so that here we have defined the signal is at the discrete time only, and this is what it is, n greater than or is equals to 0, and this part is what? N less than 0, so that for n greater than or is equals to 0, whose amplitude is 1, for n is equals to 0 also, whose amplitude is 1, this is 1, and n is equals to 1, that means what? It is greater than 0 only, this is 1, and this is 1, this is 1, and like this it is having the signal, and here also we are having the signal. Coming to here, for n less than 0, this signal is for this is n less than 0 whose amplitude is 0, for -1 whose amplitude is 0, -2 whose amplitude is 0, this is also 0, this is also 0. Like this signal is named as discrete time unit step signal. Just now I explained the continuous time unit step signal, and this is about the discrete time unit step signal. With this, the first classification, first standard continuous time signal is completed. We are having the remaining 4. In the next class I am going to talk about the remaining 4 students. Thank you.